Now, some Hillary Clinton supporters have a real issue with Bernie Sanders for not being a Democrat. Now, I hear this all the time. He's not a Democrat. He's not a Democrat. I will never support a non-Democrat. He's just using the party to get elected. Okay, I get that. Now, to me, there's nothing that pisses me off more than blind team mentality. And look, the team I'm talking about is red team versus blue team. And the idea that you can stick a D next to somebody's name and that we're just supposed to fall in line and support them. Well, look, hey, man, they're part of the team. Vote blue no matter who, right? Right? I mean, he's a Democrat. She's a Democrat. You got to vote for the Democrat. Or else you're going to vote for the Republican, right? You got to vote for the Democrat. Doesn't matter who they are. Doesn't matter who they are. You got to vote for a Democrat. Vote blue no matter who. Right? Wrong. Fuck that. Here's the thing, right? Senator Bernie Sanders is more liberal than the entirety of the Democratic Party. And he's consistently criticized him for being too right-wing. However, you might say, okay, well, he's too far left. He's not going to be able to work with Congress, right? I hear that all the time. He's not going to work with Congress. Really? Well, he's actually worked with John McCain and Republicans on legislation to help veterans. He's done that. He's worked with the Republicans, an actual good bipartisan legislation that actually helps. No, he can't work with anybody. He's too far left. Right? Well, he is more liberal than the Democratic Party. That doesn't mean he's too far left for the country, and certainly doesn't mean that he can't make deals with Republicans. Now, also, another criticism is, look, he's not one of us. However, he's raised money to help Democrats get elected. Oh, that's hypocritical. I hear that all the time, too. Oh, really? Well, how is it hypocritical when you actually help the Democratic Party get elected? Because he agrees with them when it comes to liberal principles. Remember, he's caucused with the Democrats. He's caucused with them. They both believe in progressive principles. And where they don't, well, that's where Bernie Sanders comes in later and says, look, I don't support the Democratic Party when you don't actually support progressive principles. He's a guy that says, I can support you, but I can also criticize you when I think you're wrong. And he's done the same thing with Obama. Now, I thought here in the Democratic Party, as progressives, as liberals, that's our job to call out when our politicians are not being progressive, when they're not representing the views of most liberals. I thought that's our job. You know, Republicans are supposed to line up. Actually, you know what? That's not even fair. Republicans have enough sense to say, you don't represent me. I'm going to have you primaried. When's the last time we had a primary from the left? When's the last time? No. The party, we don't have primaries from the left. The party is too busy chasing the Republicans down over to the right side of the political spectrum. We don't have primaries. We don't do that. What we do is that we follow anyone blindly with a D next to their name. We can't do that. And Bernie Sanders doesn't. And that's why he's popular with younger people and independents. Because he's not swallowing the party line. He's not going along to support the team. He's not going to do or say whatever to support the team. He's actually independent. He actually says, look, I agree with you on most things. Here's what I don't. For example, I don't agree with you on Social Security. I think we should expand it. I think we shouldn't cut it. What did President Barack Obama try to do? He changed CPI on the table that would effectively cut Social Security benefits. I thought we're not supposed to touch Social Security as Democrats. Apparently, we can. Apparently, Barack Obama certainly wanted to. I don't agree with that. And I think that was wrong. Now, why you might want to ask why he's running as a Democrat. Well, because that's the only way to feasibly run a real campaign in America. Let's be honest about that. Independents don't do very well. I mean, for example, Jill Stein. Who's Jill Stein? A lot of people ask that question, who's Jill Stein? She just happens to have been running in nearly every presidential election that I've tried to pay attention to. She never gets media. She doesn't even get into the debates. Nobody pays attention to her. Why? She's running as a third-party candidate. unfortunately, we have a two-party system that is very, very favorable to the two parties that run the system. Imagine that, right? Now you could say, well, Bernie Sanders was an independent. Now he's coming over to the Democrat. He's a Johnny-come-lately. And he's going to use the party to his own advantage. Now, once again, he's running as a Democrat because he's caucused with the Democrats and has actually raised money to help Democrats, liberals get elected. I think he's helped out the Democratic Party quite a bit. But it certainly isn't the Democratic Party that's had his back, even though he's had theirs, and criticized them where they've been betraying progressive democratic principles. And let's be honest, Senator Sanders does very well with independents and with young people. He's one of the people, one of the few that can actually bring in new people, new progressives into the Democratic Party. I thought you're supposed to have more people. I thought you want more people in order to beat the Republicans. More people, part of the Democratic Party, the better chance you have of winning, the more people voting. He's one of the guys that can actually bring in new people. But here's the other truth, right? And this goes back to their criticism of, well, he's not one of us. He's not actually a Democrat. No. Well, the truth is, if he ran as an independent, he would be criticized by the same people that are criticizing him as running as a Democrat right now. What does that criticism look like? Oh, you're trying to Ralph Nader the party. Quit trying to split the vote. You need to get out. You need to go. You need to get out. Get out. You got to split the party. You got to split the vote. Remember the last time we split the vote? Thanks, Ralph Nader. We got George Bush. Well, why do you think he's running as a Democrat now? It seems like he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. And here's the thing, right? I get tired of this. We've got to stop playing this bullshit team mentality. You can't just put a D in front of someone who may be very conservative and expect us to support him or her. We can't do that. We can't do that. It doesn't work. It's not a winning strategy. And for this, I go to the midterms. Remember the midterms, right? We actually had a chance in Kentucky, of all places, to elect a populist liberal. That liberal was Ashley Judd. And it was between her and Allison Lundergan Grimes. Now, Ashley Judd polled very well against Mitch McConnell. She had a chance to take down Mitch the Turtle McConnell. Put him back in his shell, man. Ashley Judd could have been the one to do it. Now, there's no guarantee that she would have won, but they didn't even give her a chance. The Kentucky Republican Party, what did they do? They pushed her out. No, you're too liberal. You're too progressive. We have to nominate Allison Lundergan Grimes. That's what we have to do. They went with the conservative Democrat, Allison Lundergan Grimes. The woman that wouldn't even admit that she voted for President Obama. No, I can't admit it. Did I vote for Obama? I can't say. That's going to hurt my chances. It's going to hurt my chances. With who? Republicans? Who's that going to hurt your chances with? Why would you do that? And then there's the other part of her, which was the fact that she fucking loved coal. She loved coal. It became a contest of who loved coal more. It's amazing, right? She tried to paint herself as pro-coal as Mitch McConnell. This is a Democrat. So what happened? What's the result? She got crushed. Mitch McConnell continues to reign Kentucky with impunity. Look, when it comes to Republican versus Republican light, who do you think is going to win? Most likely, they will accept no substitutes. They're going to vote for the Republican. Kentucky had no liberal in the race. And it's the same thing with Arkansas. Remember, we had a Democratic senator named Mark Pryor. This guy ran on, I shit you not, guns, God, and small government. And they expected progressives to rally around this guy. I love God, and I love small government. I'm going to get the government off your back. I'm a Democrat. You're not a fucking Democrat. You sound like a Republican. You want to get people out to vote for you? You want good voter turnout? That's the guy you don't want to nominate. That's the guy you don't want running. He got creamed. He got crushed. But wait a minute. Mark Pryor had a D next to his name. You don't understand. You got to support the Democrat. Even if he's a conservative. Got to support the team. You got to support the team. Well, we're not going to support the team. Why are we going to support a team that doesn't support us? Do you think the Democratic Party supports you? They don't. Of course they don't. Does Rahm Emanuel support you? Remember, he called liberals fucking retards for pushing for a single payer option instead of the Republican plan. The Republican plan. That's what we have. We have a Republican healthcare plan. And Rahm Emanuel called you fucking retards for actually wanting to have something better. Does he support you? Does he support you? He doesn't have your back, so why should you have his? For one, I cannot support a team that does not support me. And the truth is, in America right now, we have two right-wing parties. One is center-right, one is batshit fucking insane. However, they're both backed by the same people. They're backed by the rich and wealthy corporations that own both parties. Why they do that? It's not that they believe in both parties. It's that no matter who wins, their economic interests are always served. Always, always, always. I mean, go back to the Princeton study, where it essentially pointed out how the policy priorities of everyday Americans have a near zero, statistically insignificant impact on public policy. And that the wealthy have all the impact. The needs of the wealthy are always met before everyone else. The needs of the oligarchs. We live in an oligarchy. And that's essentially what it is. It's because they own both parties because of the corrosive influence of money in politics. Now, you might argue with me and say, come on, Jeff, dude, I know what you're saying, but Republicans and Democrats are worlds apart on policy. Look, when it comes to social policy, you're absolutely right. You'd be absolutely right. But on economic policy, they're a bit closer than you'd think. Remember, it's both parties that serve the rich in their own way. The Republicans are far more blatant about it. But remember, it was Clinton who deregulated Wall Street and the telecommunications industry. It was a Democrat who's now using drone warfare to bomb weddings in countries that we're not actually at war with. It was a Democrat who helped pass and push the weakest Wall Street regulatory reform in modern times, and ended up calling it historic. Job done. We got Dodd-Frank. What else are we gonna do? There's a lot more to be done to rein in Wall Street. But you rather wash your hands of it and say, I'm done. I did everything. Historic reform. Historic. You know where Barney Frank's at? He works at a bank. And I think Chris Dodd works on Wall Street somewhere. I don't know. The revolving door is certainly there, and it certainly gets utilized. Not only that, but it was a Democrat who helped bail out Wall Street, who caused the worst financial disaster since the Great Depression. It was a Democrat who decided that after that happened, to only look forward instead of backwards when it comes to punishing those involved. And now you're telling me that I have to be a good little Democrat and support that team. You're telling me I have to support that team. The team that does not have my back, that has the back of Wall Street. Think about Debbie Wasserman Schultz getting all of this money from all of these different industries. You want me to back her? You want me to back the same team that she's on? The same team as Rahm Emanuel? No, my friends. Not on your life. I will not back that team. I am not part of that team. I will not back it.